Hi friends, it's Mari here for Studio Light and Ecstasy Crafts. I'm going to be creating a really pretty journal page today, art journal page that you can just see here on the screen. I'm going to start off with a little bit of mixed media paper. This is just a paper that I've trimmed to 5x7, and I'm putting a little bit of gel medium over top, and that's going to allow me to add some rice paper onto the paper for my background. Now this is some rice paper from Janine's Mindful Art New Awakening collection. It's just absolutely stunning. This is rice paper number 1 from that collection, and you can just see how this is going to create the most beautiful background for my art journal page. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just flip this over and I'm going to trim off the excess of that rice paper, and that is going to just leave a really nice clean edge on my art journal page here. And once I'm ready and all finished with this part of my process, I'm going to take that same gel medium that I used to seal the top, and I'm going to actually add that over top of the rice paper. So not only am I using it to adhere the rice paper to the mixed media paper, I'm also using it over top of the rice paper, and that's going to seal it so that now I will have a non-porous surface to work on for the rest of my art journal page here. So I'm going to let that do a combination of air drying, and I also use my heat tool to dry that a little bit as well. And now I'm just using a combination of Distress ink and Distress oxide to add a little bit of color to the edges, using some Speckled Egg and some Stormy Sky inks. And I just love how those two inks just really coordinate so nicely with the colors in the New Awakening collection. And another distress color that looks really pretty with this collection is Antique Linen, but I didn't use any of that on this particular project. I've used this collection so many times. I've taught classes with it and created just for myself with it and shared it in so many different ways. It's one of my favorite collections that Janine's Mindful Art has created. It's beautiful. Now this is one of the masks from that collection as well. It's Mask 04, and this is one of the brand new products from Studio Light. This is the structure paste. It is so cool, you guys. It dries so dimensional, and it is such a fun product to work with. I highly recommend it if you like using pastes. You can also add color to it with lots of different mediums, and I will definitely be showing you examples of that in the future. But here you can just see I wanted to create just this impression of some rocks, almost kind of like a path, and that's going to go along really nicely with the little art journaling quote that I use on this project. So I just wanted 3 little areas of this stenciling with the rock feature. And I really love how the white paste really stands out nicely on that rice paper. This is a stamp from New Awakening as well. This is stamp 20. This is such a cool stamp. What I like to do when I'm stamping with these photopolymer stamps is I like to keep them on the plastic backing, and then I'll pick up some ink onto the stamp, and then I'll just use that packaging to help me bend the stamp if I want just a little bit of the stamp impression, etc. But you can just see here that I'm using that whole stamp image in that spot. And I'm using a waterproof ink here so that if I did decide to put some other type of medium on top here, this would be a permanent ink. And you can just see here, I'm going to just use a small portion of the stamp at the top. And then I wanted 3 little stamped areas. So I'm taking another one of the stamps from that stamp set and going in another little area over to the side. Now, I decided that I wanted to heat emboss that. So what I'm going to do is put some clear embossing powder over top of that ink. And I'm going to just go ahead and heat that with my heat tool and melt it. And it actually makes that stamping really nice and dimensional and shiny. You definitely wouldn't have to do this step, but I just thought that it just added a little bit of extra pizzazz to my page. And I really like how that looks. So I'm just going to tap off the excess powder there. Then I will go ahead and grab my heat tool and melt that clear embossing powder. And it's just going to create just another little beautiful effect and detail on the art journal page. So I'm just going to finish melting that up. Now that step is all finished, and I'm ready to move on and go ahead and add some more details to this page. So at this point, what I decided that I wanted to do is start to add some of some white splatter. And so I've just got a little bit of white paint medium, and I'm just going to splatter it on there. Just love the dimension that white splatter adds. And again, I just, like I said before, I love how the white looks paired with the colors that are in the rice paper. So I'm just going to spread this on here fairly generously. In fact, I decided at the end here that I wanted some bigger blobs of that white paint on here as well. In case you were wondering, blob is a very technical term in the art world. Anyways, I like some larger splatters on there as well. Now these are some die cut pieces that are from the Elements pad. This is DCB01 paper elements from that collection, and this is a non-fussy cutting pad, which is really fun. These are all perforated pieces that just pop right out, and you have tons of little embellishments that you can use on your project. So I really liked how this kind of looked like a sign, swing, planter, something like that, hanging, and so I wanted to hang that from the top of the page, and I just put another little die cut kind of in behind it that looks like there are flowers in that basket. Just going to pop this element up onto my paper or onto my page with a little bit of foam adhesive just to give it a little more dimension. And at this point I don't have the holes punched in the side of my page, but this is going to go in my Studio Light planner, so it is going to have holes punched in the side so that I can put it into my planner as a art journal planner page. And what's really fun about those planners is I could also use this, and I probably will use on the back side of this a place for some memory keeping. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about those planners is they're just so versatile. You can use them for so many different purposes. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm adding another one of those pieces from that Elements book. And I'm just going to add that to the planter, or this hanging piece here. So it's just a sweet little rose in yellow, and I've added a couple of little leaves to the sides. And now this is a sticker book that's part of the collection as well, and it's quotes and letters. And I love this. It's really great for adding a quote to an art journal page, and they're just beautiful quotes in here. And also included in this little book are alphas. So there's little tile alphas in the back so that if you wanted to spell out whatever it is that you want to say, if there's not an appropriate sentiment in here for what you want, you can also use those alphas to spell out whatever it is that you want as well. So I think that's very cool. So I'm just going to choose this quote here. I love how this works for this particular project for me and what I was going for here. And what I'm going to do is put that sticker onto some white cardstock, and then I'll just trim it out. I just wanted it to be a little bit heavier, and I want to be able to put some foam adhesive on the back to add some dimension. So that's super easy to do, a really quick little step, and in that way it's going to help me achieve that look that I want. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick that down, and now I just felt like it needed just another little bit of floral underneath it. And so I'm going to add that on again from that Elements book. And then there's also room at the bottom for a little photograph if I want, or if I want to add some more personal journaling at the bottom, I can totally do that. And I really love how this turned out. I have linked up to all of the different products that I have used today for this project in the description box below. Those are links to Ecstasy Crafts, and they are affiliate links. So if you click those links and shop, I do get a small commission at no extra cost to you. And I do really appreciate that when you use my links to shop. And it's also helpful to you so that if you want to use any of these different products or find them, it's a lot easier for you to do so just by quickly clicking those links. So I love my Studio Light products. I'm a huge fan of everything that they have, and they have such a huge product line. It's actually quite amazing when you get looking at what they have. And what I'm noticing is that they are really hugely branching out. Like there's so many new and fun things coming out. I don't know if you've seen their new stacking dies that they've come out with recently. Just a bunch of really cool new things, always coming out with something fun. So make sure that you check that out at Ecstasy Crafts as well. I'm also going to leave you a coupon code in the description box so that if you've never used my coupon code at Ecstasy Crafts, it does give you 10% off at checkout. So make sure that you look for that down below. And the project is all finished. I'm just showing you up close how nice and textural this is and dimensional. It's just beautiful. I love it. I love how it turned out. And it's because of these absolutely stunningly gorgeous products. And I love that Janine's Mindful Art has all of these different collections that come out. I think there's a new one right now called, I think it's called Warm and Cozy. It's also beautiful. So make sure you check that out as well. And thank you so much for joining me today, friends. I really appreciate it. I am so thankful for your support here on YouTube. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.